Good evening, Ms. Asma Rasmosky, IFAC President, Professor Lakshman Watawala, Founding President of CMA, Sri Lanka, Mr. Fazal Saleh, Chairman of the Stocks of the Securities Exchange Commission, Chairman and CEO of Colombo Stock Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, indeed it is my tremendous privilege to be able to say a few words as the chairman of the judging panel. I'm very sure that I stand between you and the award ceremony of you receiving the award, so I shall make it as brief as I could. Let me move to the important reminder that the primary purpose of the integrated reporting is to explain to providers of financial capital how an organization creates, preserves, or erodes value over time. So in that sense, it is a very focused report, allowing the companies or the preparer to be able to communicate to the various stakeholders with the financial providers of the financial capital as a key stakeholders, the value creation process. The purpose of the competition, as mentioned, is to promote Sri Lankan companies, both listed and unlisted, and state-owned institutions, companies, to undertake integrated reporting, which will be beneficial to investors and stakeholders. So, as a chairman of the judging panel, I spent hours actually interviewing almost every award winner tonight. And one of the things I share with them, since I hail from Singapore, is that Singapore and Sri Lanka have many things in common. We are a small country. Our survival, in many ways, is dependent upon our ability to interact and to trade in the global economy. And in order to trade in the global economy, our companies, our institutions, have to be able to signal to the global market that we are companies that are well-governed, companies that have ethics, companies basically that are efficient and able to take care of the world and to produce financial results. So, as companies, in order to maintain our survival and ability to signal to the whole of the global economy, integrated reports became a very important mechanism for us to signal this value creation. And I must congratulate the CMA Sri Lanka that you have the foresight in 2015 when the integrated report as a framework was introduced in December 2013 to adopt this as a reporting mechanism to allow the companies in Sri Lanka to leverage on a reporting mechanism that allows you to signal your value creation. This is not only important to the company, but it's important to the Sri Lanka economy because yours is a global economy and basically for Sri Lanka as an entire nation. So I must say that this is probably one of the most important understanding of this integrated reporting award, more than just winning the award. It is a matter of survival. It's a matter of competing in a global stage. In the time that we have conducted this competition, the 9 years that we have, these are the statistics. The COVID years have taken its toll, but nonetheless, we have more or less recovered in a post-COVID world. And we hope that this will continue in its momentum to grow as more companies adopt integrated reporting and as more companies excel in integrated reporting, and as an entire economy, you have the ability to signal to the world your value creation stories. We are mindful too that there are companies that are scattered all over the place which are winners, the first, the second, the third. And on this occasion, I must single out Demo. Demo has been with us, and in fact, Demo as a company is a shining star. They light the way concerning how integrated reporting is to be done. Right? interestingly, the rest of the companies are catching up very, very fast. Right? So as we get to understand this story creation mechanism, we will be able primarily to tell the world what are we doing with the 6 capitals? How are we taking care of our people? How are we caring for the environment? And in that process, we are also making money for our stakeholders. And we didn't forget our manpower, our people. As the IFAC president has mentioned very clearly, the young people today do not only want to work, they want to have a reason for working. They want to have a purpose in contributing in their work. I must also put on records the top 3 winners tally in 2015 to 2022. I shall not include the 2023 lest I let the cat out of the bag. And you realize that all these companies are systematically also catching up in terms of the quality of their reporting. On another piece of statistics, these are the number of shortlisted companies over time. Right. There are 3 companies I'd like to make mention: Demo, John Keells, National Development Bank, that has been with us in all these 9 competitions. And I hope that this list will continue to grow. And I was very encouraged by the chairman of the Stock Exchange of Colombo that our dream maybe one day is that the whole of all the companies in Colombo Stock Exchange will adopt the integrated reporting. And maybe we will also fulfill the dreams of Professor Watawala that the state-owned enterprise, the government will also use this as a mechanism to assure the stakeholders that you are in good hands. And I hope that this momentum will continue as we move into the future. I also like to say and give a few observations. In the interview that I had with the companies, I was very impressed by the fact that companies has articulated the thought pattern, that how in the preparation of the integrated reporting, they were able to put on an integrated mindset. I was most impressed by one particular company in which the head of engineering and sustainability was the person chairing the whole of the integrated reporting committee, right? Rather than an accountant. It suggests that literally by preparing the integrated report, various levels of the organizations, more than just the finance, are coming together in the pooling of information, the collation of the information, and the interpretation of the information concerning how they are to paint and create or to capture the value creation story. And this is the kind of integrated thinking that we need to promote in a company. As management, we always said, you cannot manage what you do not know. Maybe as an accountant, we have to say the same thing too. You cannot make progress on what you cannot measure or you did not measure. Because if you don't have a baseline, it is impossible to then suggest that we should improve. The question then becomes, improve from what to what, right? So I am very encouraged in terms of the observation that I have primarily in the interview I have with the various winners tonight. And one last thing I want to basically bring to your attention in the whole of the discussion I have with the various winners is the important thinking concerning sustainability and the care for the environment. Somehow, the whole of Sri Lanka, at least the winners that I've spoken to, understand the importance of sustainability. That it is not just a sprint, but it is a marathon. And it is a race that we must be able to convince the stakeholders that there will be a tomorrow, there will be a future, and the companies are responsible for the sustainability of that future state. So with this, I'd like to basically share a few appreciation message. The first appreciation message I want to give, as many of the speakers have given, is that of Professor Lakshman Watawala and CMA Sri Lanka. You see, the inauguration of an integrated reporting in 2015 to encourage the Sri Lankan companies to better communicate their value creation was a very far-sighted decision. Remember at that point in time, in 2013 December, the integrated reporting framework was only formalized. And the decision maker then, the leaders in CMA, Sri Lanka, and Professor Lakshman Watawala has to look into the future and bet on a horse. That is, they have to choose a mechanism or choose a reporting framework that will benefit the Sri Lanka, that will allow the company to signal their value creation. And 9 years later, this is where we are. And it is always well said that two major things characterize a leader or a leading organization. One, it must always have followers. All right? There is, you are defined as a leader and recognized as a leader insofar as you have followers, people willing to follow you. And in these 9 years, I think it is a proven testimony that CMA Sri Lanka has made an important decision that allows the following of companies to adopt integrated reporting. The second major attribute of a leader is the ability to foretell, looking into the future and say what the future looks like. What does the future needs in order to bring us there, right? And this is where, looking at the corridor of time, integrated reporting was selected as a mechanism that allows a company in Sri Lanka to tell your value creation story. I am very confident that you will be well paid off in time to come, if not even now, because by having a clear mechanism that allows you to signal your value creation, you are already among the winners in the global economy. I must also express my special thanks to the members of the technical panels. They pour through every single page of the annual reports of all the applicants. And some of the reports are into 400-500 pages. Right? The technical panels are ably led by Professor Roshan Awa and Mr. Kusal Nisanka. And the whole host of various individuals who help in the evaluation. In this year, we also created the members of the senior evaluators, right? So, you see, we are very concerned about the integrity of the whole process to ensure that we have evaluators and we are able to go through various levels of checking. Professor Watawala has well said, in this whole competition, it was started by Professor Graham Terry, who set up for us a framework. Working with Professor Graham Terry, we were very concerned over and conscious of one major issue. There is at some point in time, we need to transfer the entire technology back to the individuals in Sri Lanka. It is your competition. Your people should be able to have the full technical competency to be able to make the judgment. And I'm very pleased to say we probably have arrived after all these years, right? That you have a full suite of individuals who are expert in this space, who is able to pick up a report and be able to share how well you are doing. So I want to thank the senior evaluators that serves as a significant gatekeeper. And finally, the members of the judging panel. I like to believe that we are only lending our credentials and reputation basically to the expert panels or the expert individuals that have done the work here in Sri Lanka. For this, I'm always very thankful to Professor Sabanti Senaratna, who has been with us, Mr. A.M. Raman, and Ms. Desiree Jones, who is first joined us this year, and Dr. Ralph Lawson. So, in order to maintain the integrity of the competition, we formed this panel to give us an additional pair of eyes to look at the results and the decision of the senior evaluators and the technical panel. Last if not least, we want to express our special attention, special appreciation to the Colombo Stock Exchange. Without your support, without your partnership with us, this competition would never have been possible, because the regulator or the stock exchange is a significant platform to encourage the companies to move forward. All participating companies, if you have not taken part, there will be no ceremony tonight. And I want to encourage you to keep pushing on, press on towards towards a greater glory as it is. And the companies that you are building will be global companies that stand alongside the giants of the rest of the world. And finally, the press, who have been so generous in giving us the publicity for this competition. And finally, I want to extend my congratulations to all the winners in this 2023 competition. Thank you very much.